Hey, second grade, this is Mr. Houston coming from his study with another one of our digital learning lessons. This is lesson number 5 of digital citizenship. And this lesson is titled, Who is in Your Online Community? All right, so let's just go ahead and get started. Who is in your online community? So here we go. How are we all part of an online community? Well, right now, more than we've ever been, we are a big part of an online community, right? We are having to see family and friends online. We're having to see teachers and classmates online. We're having to learn and work online. So now, maybe more than ever, we are definitely part of an online community. Excuse me. So if I were to ask you, what is the internet? How would you describe the internet to a younger sibling, a cousin, a friend? Maybe even you yourself doesn't. Maybe you don't even really know how you would describe it. But it's kind of a weird thing to describe to someone younger, isn't it? Well, it's this thing that you can't really see, but you can buy things and see people and talk to people and kind of go places, but you're still at home. You imagine if you were really little, how crazy that would sound, right? It would sound really silly. Well, we can call or define the internet as a worldwide network that connects people using computers, phones, or other devices. And that's probably the simplest way that we could define it. Now, we could definitely get a more complicated answer than that. But for right now, that's a good answer for us. A network that connects everyone all over the world, and we are connected by using our devices. Right? All right. So that is how we can define it. So I want to ask you, and I think I just kind of mentioned it a second ago. Would you think of the internet as a place? I think I sometimes refer to in real life and then the internet. That's how I talk about it. But in a way, it is a place. It's not a physical place, right? It's not a place you can actually go visit, take your body there, like the playground or the basketball court or the zoo. But it is made up of real people. Real millions of people are on the internet all the time, and they can't interact with each other in all kinds of different ways through their devices. And they can do that even when they're not in the same place. Right? So I want you to think about, if you were to hold up a big ball or a globe, right? I don't have one in front of me, or I would hold it up. I could grab a basketball off the shelf and imagine that this is the world, right? And it's made up of lots of different people. Some of them you know, some of them you don't know. Well, the internet is just like that, this world, except that we interact with people online. The internet's made up of real people, just like the physical world is made up of real people. So today we're going to talk about the different people that make up the internet and how you might, or we might, know each of them. So we're going to talk about something called the rings of responsibility and how they help us understand our online community. First, we start with ourself in the center. So this would be you, right? This first ring of connection is you. Now the next ring we're going to see is the community. And this refers to the people you know either from your family, from your neighborhood you live in, the school we go to, and imagine, maybe you go to a church. And those are all people. See, there's the community. And this is people from your family, your neighborhood, your school, your church. And we define community as a group of people who share a common neighborhood background or interest. So communities can be used as they all live in the same community, but it doesn't have to just mean in your neighborhood, right? It could be people that have the same background as you, right? Like your community is definitely going to be second graders because you guys are all in the second grade. Could be people that have the same interest as you. If you're on the soccer team or you're on a cheerleading team, they're a part of your community, right? So I want you to think about who would be a part of your community, right? That you interact with. Who do you know personally and see and talk to and interact with on a regular basis, right? Could be family and friends. Definitely is going to be family and friends. Some of you may have more family than others. Maybe you don't have as much family that lives here. Some of you have more family that live at home than other people do. So that would be different. But it can also include people you don't know well, but who you interact with sometimes, right? Like if you always see the same cashier when you go in Publix, she's a part of your community. If you go to the same dentist, he might be a part of your community. If you have a soccer coach, the person who delivers your mail, right? Your neighbors, they are all a part of your community. And if you start to think about this, it can be a pretty big list. And I'm sure we could keep adding more people to it. And everyone in this group is a part of your community. They are people you know personally and have met face to face, right? Even if you don't see them all the time, right? Now, this last ring of the rings of responsibility is world. And this group includes people that you don't personally know, that you haven't met face to face. So this could be all kinds of people, right? Could be everybody from people living in other states and other countries in the world, the president, our favorite actors, our favorite athletes. Really, it's everybody else in the world, right? That comes into this part of the community. Okay, this world community. So we can name all kinds of people in the world that we don't know, right? That we've heard of, we just don't interact with personally. So we're not going to do this. I just want you guys to listen to it and think about it. If I asked you to write down 3 people in your community and then 2 people in your world, could you tell me how you could connect with them online? I think you could, right? But would it be different the way you would connect with them? I hope so, right? Because people in your community are people that you know personally. You've met them, you've talked to them face to face. People in your world community, right? We haven't necessarily met all of those people. If I were to ask you, how would we interact with these people? Right? People in our close community? Well, we probably interact with them a lot closer, don't we? We might play games together. We might, do video chats or Zooms. We might send messages, share funny videos, right? Because those are people that we really know. Now, the people that we don't really know, the rest of the world, we might read about them in stories or articles. We might watch videos they post. We might listen to their music if they're musicians, or watch them play sports if they're athletes. But it's different, right? We have a different relationship with them than we do the people in our close community. So, do you notice a difference in the way you interact with people in your community in the world? Sure. Sure, you would notice a difference, right? Because we have more direct communication and we interact more with people in our community than we do all the rest of the people in the world, right? We won't usually directly communicate with people in the world, but instead we just kind of we see what they are doing, right? So they put things up that we can watch and we can read, but we're not like a close part of their lives. Remember that you should only interact with people from your community, and you should only do so with permission from a trusted adult, mom, dad, teachers. Today we talked about how you can connect with people in your community, both in person and online. And you learned that the internet's made up of real people, some in your community and a whole lot of others all around the world. Right? It was good having you today, guys. And I will see you next time when we are together on our Zooms. All right? So have a great day.